Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, it's Diego with the beautiful Karina, my lovely wife from beautiful Venezuela. And we are here on the live stream 2 minutes early because we had somebody waiting to give you free information and free advice on how to process your K1 visa, process your green card, your spousal visa, or your tourist visa. I've been through this before. I've got 9 years worth of experience, so I know how to wind my way through the maze of immigration questions, and I'm here to help you. Karina, she went through the K1 visa process. She is from Venezuela. She relocated to Colombia, lived in Colombia for almost 6 years. We dated for a long time. We've been together a long time, and then I went to live in Colombia, and then here she is in Florida. And Larry Piercy's online. Salute to Larry Piercy. And Larry, now his beautiful prometida is in Thailand. And he's a veteran, a U.S. Marine Corps veteran. And he will be bringing his beautiful prometida over to the United States from Thailand. Ross Lee, hello, Diego. On Thursday is my interview day. Hoo-hoo, Ross Lee. Interview day on Thursday. No problem. You can do it. It's easy, right? The scary visa interview is on Thursday. So what day is it today? Today's Monday, right? Today's President's Day. Happy President's Day to everybody. And Ross Lee, I'm flying to Bogota tomorrow. Okay, where are you flying using? Are you flying American Airlines? I usually fly American Airlines when I fly to Colombia. You know, when I fly from Pensacola to Miami, then I went to Bogota. I used American Airlines. Larry Piercy, and I'm a subscriber. Well, yeah, Larry, you're a subscriber. If you weren't, you wouldn't be able to write on the channel. And Ross Lee, American Airlines, yes, American Airlines. Now, they don't pay me to say that they're a good company, but they're a good company. I've never had a problem. I've always been able to get to Bogota, Colombia on time without any problems, without any delays with American Airlines. But when we flew from Bogota to Colombia to Miami on January 3rd of this year, we flew Avianca because they let us bring our cat Tokyo. And we weren't going to leave Tokyo behind in Colombia, so we brought him to the United States. And he's happy as a clam too. David B. Hi, Diego. When will my fiance be able to work when she arrives in the United States? If she applies for the work authorization form, what is the wait time on that? It's about 2 to 3 months for the EAD document, your employment authorization document. And then a month or two after that, you get the green card. So get the EAD document, go get your social security number, you better get your beneficiary, get her social security number, and you're good to go. So it took a couple of months, give it 2 or 3 months. Claire and Madsen vlogs, hi again. With the request for further evidence, my fiance Madsen gave me a copy of the federal report showing his clean record, and we had a certified translation done, and it's notarized. And I'm sure if I should pay a lawyer, why do you want to pay a lawyer $2,800 for processing an RFE? Save that money for your family. Don't do that. Don't do that. If you have a question on your RFE, I'll answer the question for free. Okay, not $2,800. Now, I'm not an immigration attorney. I don't work for the government, USCIS. I don't give you any legal advice. But I probably know the answer because I've been through this thing twice. Okay, I can write the book on green cards, K1 visas, K2 visas, spousal visas. I can write the book on it. Do not pay anybody $2,800 to help you with an RFE. Okay, Claire and Madsen. Let me see. GLK Dog 01. Hey, Diego, I finally got approved after the 221G. Good. That's good. I knew you would. And my wife got her passport. We will be heading to the U.S. on April what? That's okay, April. So in April, you're going to be in the United States of America. Fantastic. That's great. I knew you'd get your 221G sorted out there, GLK Dog 01. No problem. Ross Lee, Melissa is freaking out of fear. Someone told her that the consul there will separate us and do separate interviews. In Colombia? In Bogota? No. No. Tell Melissa to calm down, okay? To go and relax. Go get some good Colombian food and relax. Okay? Just chill out. But you got to quit. I got rid of Facebook, okay? I got rid of it. It's gone. I deleted my account. So if you try to message me through Yahoo Messenger or whatever it is, Messenger, I don't have it anymore. It's gone. Okay? There's lots of people going to Facebook and they read all these horror stories about immigration and K1s and this and that. And it's most of it's untrue. And they get these big headaches. Then they come on the channel and they ask me questions about their time in Facebook, and I tell them to stay out of Facebook. So I had to set the example. All right, I set the example. I got rid of Facebook. It's gone. Okay, it was nothing but a joke anyway. It's just a bunch of. Do you know who runs Facebook? Do you know who runs it? The CIA. The owner of Facebook hired CIA retired or whatever former employees of the Central Intelligence Agency to run Facebook. So they're spying on you guys, in my opinion. I mean, obviously you're putting the information out there and it's public records. Get out of there. Get rid of your Facebook. It's a joke. Let me see here. Ross Lee, stop freaking out over the visa interview in Bogota. It's not going to, nobody's going to be separated and put in rooms. There's no rooms. It's all done in front of a window with a phone. Okay? And Karina just said, let me see. Claire and Madsen, don't pay anybody $2,800 to help you with an RFE. Please don't do that. That is such a waste of money. You don't need to do that. Francois Livingston, good evening, Diego and Karina and Super Quack Tokyo. Tokyo's good. He's a good boy today. He was good. He was hanging out. He was a good guy. David Petch, Buenos tardes, Diego and Karina. Buenos tardes, David. Even though my fiance has been living in Hong Kong for 10 years, does she still need a police certificate from the Philippines? Yes. If your fiance is from the Philippines, she needs a police certificate from the Philippines. If she's living in Hong Kong, and my condolences, I think Hong Kong's ran by the communist Chinese. You got to be careful what you say in Hong Kong. You might end up in prison. Just my opinion. But she's going to have a police certificate from Hong Kong and the Philippines. Okay? You got it? And it's a good thing she's in Hong Kong because getting a police certificate from Hong Kong is a pain. I made a video, Diego Ross, police certificate, Hong Kong. Check out the video. Tuan Benson, hello, Mr. and Mrs. Ross from Chile, Miami. What is it, like 85 degrees now, Tuan, in Miami? It's 85 degrees, and that's Chile, right, from Miami. Let me see. Jenny Brielle, hi, Karina and Diego. I remember you saying back in the day that you would get Karina a military type ID. She has one. I got it for her last week. My husband took me to the base and I got one too, but not sure what the benefits are of having it. The benefits of having a U.S. government military ID? Well, let's see. You can go on base. You got health care, TRICARE, military TRICARE health care. You can go shop in the exchange. You can just shop in the commissary and buy food for that without paying taxes on it. And U.S. immigration, when you apply for the green card, will see that you have a U.S. military ID, and that will give you a big plus for the adjudication of your green card. It's a big deal. It's a good thing to have. Tuan Benson, Claire, listen to Diego. He is dead on with information and materials. Well, there you go, Tuan. Tuan is absolutely right, but he said it's cold in Miami or chilly in Miami. How chilly is it in Miami? Harold A. Hey from Sacramento, California. What's going on, Harold? Tuan Benson, Diego, my fiance divorce was rejected in January 2023 due to the red seal wasn't there. So my fiance in Vietnam had to go to GFI to court and get a new one with a red seal. So our interview is Friday. They're strict. You got to, divorce decrees. I don't know what happened to Mosquito Guy. He just disappeared from the channel, but he said that he doesn't need his divorce decree for his beneficiary's visa interview in the Philippines. We'll see how that works out. David B. Hey, Diego, I was wondering, have you guys ever traveled with an animal before? My fiance plans to bring her cat. We are looking into what the airline requires. Okay. Number one, you got to have an airline that will let you travel with your cat. Avianca Airlines in Colombia let us travel with our cat. American Airlines wouldn't. Delta Airlines wouldn't. I never fly Delta Airlines anyway. I mean, that airline, every time I fly Delta Airlines, they break down. Well, they need a pilot. Well, they can't find a crew chief. Well, there's something mechanically wrong, and I'm sitting for 2 hours on the plane. That's just my experience. Hopefully, you guys had a better experience. But you can bring a cat to the United States. You got to get vaccinations for the cat, get a physical for like a health exam, and that's it. Get it in a document folder, and find an airline that will travel with your cat. And there's things you got to do to bring a cat. Okay, in Colombia, Karina had to go down to the airport and check in with the airport and show the airport the size of the carrier. This is Tokyo's travel carrier. Okay, it's the perfect size to fit under the seat of the plane, because you got to bring the cat with you into the plane as carry-on. So find an airline that'll carry a cat. Make sure you got the right carry-on bag for the cat so he can breathe and see, and you can give him Scooby snacks, open up the zipper and slip in some Scooby snacks in there. And Joel Adams and Antoine says it's 69 degrees in Miami. Well, that's pretty cool for Miami. It's 52 degrees here in the Panhandle. Joel Adams, is the welcome letter just a letter from NBC stating they sent the case to the embassy? Yes, that's basically what it is. And you got to print the welcome letter, okay? Because some medical exams, like Karina, when she went to schedule her medical exam in Bogota, Colombia, they wanted to see the NBC welcome letter, and they wanted to see the email with the list of travelers. She didn't have them with her. She's like, what is that? So the secretary called up her computer and said, look, this is on the computer screen. And Karina took a picture with her phone. She sent it to me, and then I know exactly what she was talking about. So I printed the NBC welcome letter, and I printed the list of travelers, okay? The email, list of travelers is what it's called. And then Karina went back to medical and scheduled her medical exam in Bogota on the 9th floor of the medical center. There's a nice view from the top. Twan Benson, look at you, man. That's a super chat, super. Guess what? That's going to be Mountain Dew and breakfast at Hardee's next Sunday for beautiful Karina. She likes the big breakfast platter. She tried the sausage and she tried the bacon, but she likes the big breakfast platter at Hardee's. We appreciate you, Twan, for that super chat. We do. We appreciate it, and we do this for free, guys. I'm saving you thousands of dollars. I save, if I can get this person not to spend all that money on an immigration attorney, I've saved him about $2,800. Don't spend that money on an immigration attorney. The only time you need an immigration attorney is if you have felonies and you don't know if you qualify for the benefit at all. So you got to, an immigration attorneys, I'm not saying they're bad, but they come in handy if you want to get your record adjudicated, your criminal record adjudicated if you have one before you file for the visa. But you don't need an immigration attorney to fill out paperwork for a K-1 or a green card or a spouse visa. It's not difficult. But I'm glad, Twan, I'm glad you got that sorted out with the divorce decree. I'm glad it's all sorted out for you. And that's great news. We're happy to hear that. David B. Hey, Diego, I was wondering, have you guys ever traveled with an animal? I just explained what we did. Let me see. Arturo Morales deleted the message. I can't read it if you delete it. If you send me a message and delete it, how am I supposed to read it? Twan Benson, refill your Mountain Dew, my friend. Definitely. Most definitely. Larry Piercy says, have you eaten breakfast at Aces in Milton? I have eaten breakfast at Aces in Milton. it was years ago, about 3 or 4 years ago. And it is fantastic breakfast there, but it's a little expensive. They're a little high. It's a little expensive. Okay. Hardee's is a big breakfast and a good price. Aces is a smaller, breakfast is good. It's pretty Rico, but it's expensive. Joel Adams, administrator is more necessary than a lawyer. Well, let me administrate it for you. I'll be your administrator, and it won't cost you a penny. If you got questions about your RFE, or if you need help with a K1, ask me right here on the channel. You're a subscriber. You can ask me questions. Larry Piercy, Mo Super Chats. What's a Mo Super Chat, Larry? What the heck is that? What's a Mo Super Chat? I don't know what that is. But I like the one, Twan. Oh, more Super Chats. Yeah, guys, you don't have to do that, but we appreciate it. Joel Adams, look at you. All right, Joel, he kicked in. He kicked in the tip at Aces if we go eat their breakfast there. But Aces is a good restaurant. I've eaten there. They have a good breakfast, but they're a little expensive. Joel, thank you for that Super Chat. We appreciate you. So come on, what is the most difficult part of the K1 visa process? The waiting, right? Waiting and waiting and waiting. That's the hardest part, is waiting for your visa. And then you're scared, right? You get scared when you go to the visa interview. You're scared that it's going to be, but don't be scared of the visa interview. If you guys are in a relationship that's real, you guys are in a real relationship. You love each other. You've been together, what, a year plus? You've been a couple of trips to see each other. You spent lots of time together. Okay? So don't be scared of the visa interview. Joel Adams, is the I-134 the only original document needed from the sponsor? Yes, that is correct. Plus a photocopy of your passport for U.S. citizenships to prove you're a U.S. citizen, a big blown up copy of your biographic page of your U.S. passport, and your beneficiary needs to bring original birth certificate plus a copy of the birth certificate, original police certificate or police certificates if there's more than one country, and the passport needs to have at least 6 months of time left on it before it expires, unless you're going to a K1 visa interview in Rio de Janeiro in Brazil. If you're from Brazil, then you got to have 8 months left on your passport, 8 or 9 months right in there. But in other countries like Colombia, it's just 6 months minimum. Let me see. Hedrax Sodiero, Christ Fire. Hey guys, when my fiance enters U.S. Customs, take envelopes that's not open. Do Customs supposed to give you a copy? No. Customs will take the envelopes and they will disappear into the big black hole of immigration, and you'll never see them again. It's gone. Okay. It's like you go into Area 51 and then you catch the bus down to S4 and you got a job back engineering UFOs. You enter your job, and when you come home at night, you don't tell anybody about what you did, because you're not allowed to tell anybody about what you did, because supposedly they don't exist, these alien spacecraft. That's kind of like immigration. Okay. You give them the K1 visa package at the Border Patrol, and then the information disappears and you never see it again, and it's like top secret. Okay, so you don't see it again. Arturo Morales. Hi, Diego and Karina. I cannot get a scheduled interview at the Manila at the U.S. Embassy. My MERV slip won't accept my system because I put C1 class, but I'm a K1. Please advise what to do. Well, it sounds to me like you can either email the embassy and ask them to change the classification from C1 to K1, or repeat the whole process over again and don't mess up and put K1 and not C1. Okay? Repeat the process and put K1. You may have to pay the $265 again. I don't know. But see if you can change it with the embassy in Manila from C1 to K1. Email them. Hey, tell them I messed up. Joel Adams, they don't take the original police report or birth certificate. Who doesn't? Immigration does at the embassy. They want to see the original police certificate and the original birth certificate. They take the police certificate, but they don't take the birth certificate. You're at your embassy interview. You show the original birth certificate. The immigration officer looks at it, gives it back to you once they've adjudicated it. But you do got to give them a copy, certified copy of your birth certificate if you're the beneficiary. Sorcha Anderson. Hi, Diego and Karina. Looking great. Well, thanks, Sorcha. We're hanging in there. I even shaved. Well, kind of. Almost. And no, today was a good day, actually. It was nice. It was President's Day. We didn't really do too much. I did a bit of editing. I made some stuff for future videos for you guys. And Karina was, piddling around the house, doing good stuff here. And I don't know, we went for a walk in the barrio and we came back. And now here we are doing a live stream. We had a good day today. And I got some water. And tomorrow I'm going to take Karina and stock up on Mountain Dew. And today we ate breakfast. No, we ate breakfast. Was it today or yesterday? AJ or wait? Okay, yesterday we ate at Hardee's for breakfast. And today, Karina made a nice big breakfast for me, a Venezuelano breakfast. And it was great. And I got some water, and I'm almost out of Mountain Dew, so we can stock up now. Arturo, email the embassy in Manila and ask them to change your category from C1 to K1. If they won't do it, you're going to have to resubmit everything. Okay, redo it. Because you cannot schedule an interview with the Manila embassy with a MRF, your MRF slip, your receipt for paying the visa fee won't accept the system. So the number on your MRF slip used to schedule the visa interviews for a C1. So you need a new MRF slip. So it sounds like to me you're going to have to pay for you're going to have to repeat and pay for another visa. Or email the embassy in Manila and ask them to give you a MRF slip and change it from C1 to K1. See if they'll do that. I don't see why they won't. I mean, seriously, you've already paid it. You just made a little technical error. April Flower, does anyone know how many times a month does the Abu Dhabi embassy post interview dates? You got to check every day, April Flower. Every day, go in and look for an appointment day. Because if the embassy in Abu Dhabi put out a date when they post their interview dates, that's when everybody would jump on there and blow up their system, right? Go in there every day and look for an interview. Every day. And then you're going to be like the secret squirrel, checking every day, and then you're going to see one, open up, and you're going to jump on it and get it. Right, April Flower? You're going to get a visa interview. They're scheduling K1s in Abu Dhabi, which is in the United Arab Emirates. To our beautiful friends in the UAE. Sorcha Anderson, please everyone, if y'all listen to Diego, you can't go wrong with your paperwork. Sorcha, you're right. He is the best at what he does. You help me and my family so much. Please subscribe, like, and share. I never asked you guys to subscribe to the channel. I never asked you to like anything. And I never ask you to share anything because this is your channel, belongs to you. All I do is just provide you information. I sit here and hang out here in our house in Florida with beautiful Karina from Venezuela. And Karina keeps me, she's my technical expert. And she keeps me on, if I miss something and she fixes it. That's, she's like the silent warrior princess, right? And I never ask you to subscribe to the channel. You don't have to. But if you want to ask me questions, I need for you to be subscribed because that helps me keep it, I can't have 350,000 questions at one time. I couldn't do it. So if you're a subscriber, you can chat all you want and give me all your questions. If you're not a subscriber, you can watch the video later and learn from what other people have asked and see if it helps you. Antonio, Diego, we were approved on 2/6/24. When should we inquire about our case? This is the Philippines, by the way. So wait 2 or 3 months. Wait 2 months. Okay? Wait till 4/6/2024 and then send an inquiry to the MVC and see if the USCIS has mailed your K1 visa package to the MVC yet. And then when the MVC get it, the National Visa Center in New Hampshire, when they get it, they will call the embassy up in the Manila, Philippines and say, hey, Are you guys busy? Can we mail you this K1 visa? Can we mail you Antonio's K1 visa? And the embassy in Manila, Philippines will say yes, or they'll say no. More than likely, 9 times out of 10, they say, yeah, go ahead and mail it. So it gets into a DHL plane and it flies from New Hampshire to Manila via Singapore or via South Korea. The embassy in Manila gets it. The U.S. Embassy in Manila gets it. And then they send you a in-transit email, and then they get your ready status. And then you can start getting to work on scheduling your visa interview. Okay, and make sure you remember when you look for the visa interviews, it's going to be listed under immigrant visas. Even though technically it's a non-immigrant visa, it's going to be listed under immigrant visas. Okay, so if you click on non-immigrant visa, you won't be able to find the K1. Where is it? You can't find it. Click on immigrant visas. So wait a couple of months, okay? On Antonio, give it a couple of months. Esteban Acosta. Hello, Diego and Karina from Navarre. Hey, Esteban in Navarre. Finally got an NOA 2 last week. Congratulations. Now we wait for the National Visa Center. Welcome letter. Been a while since I checked in, but happy for you both. You made it. Esteban, yeah, Karina's been to Navarre. Yeah, we might take a trip to Navarre tomorrow. There's like a British shop down there, and they sell this British food that I kind of liked. When I was on vacation, I went to England on vacation in July of '96, and I got stuck on Jaffa cakes, and I got hooked on all their good food, like marmalade and lemon curd, and it's good. It's good stuff. So I might take Karina to Navarre tomorrow and check it out. Bud Garcia, hello, Diego and Karina from Washington State. Now, Bud Garcia's family, his beneficiaries in Thailand. Okay, just close to Bangkok. Joe Adams, does barangay belong on street for address? Currently, embassy has it on city. Barangay, isn't that in the Philippines? Should I email embassy to correct it or just fix it on the DS-160? Barangay is a village. Fix it on the DS-160. On the DS-160, the immigration officer is going to know. You make that correct. Yeah, in the Philippines, Barangay, it's like a very famous tourist place, right? It's like tourists go there in the Philippines. Yeah, I know where it's at. Barangay. I know where it is. I got a friend that lives in the Philippines, and he lives in Dumaguete, I believe is the name of the city or the town. And he has a YouTube channel. He interviews people from America that live in the Philippines. It's a district. Yeah, it's a district. I'm not familiar whether it's a district or a village or a town. Barangay means village. Okay, so Filipino. It's a Tagalog word for village, right? So what would I do if I was talking to somebody from the Philippines? Well, how would I speak in Tagalog? I would say, "Kamusta ka?" Right? Kamusta ka? How are you? Nice to meet you. That's Filipino. I think that's right. Okay. Or if I want to say that life can be hard sometimes, life is hard sometimes. You guys are going through a K1 visa process. Life is hard in Filipino, in Tagalog is mahirap ang buhay, right? Life is hard. But you guys are going to get through this K1 visa process. Our beautiful friends in the Philippines, our beautiful friends in India, Australia, England, Colombia, Venezuela, our beautiful friends in Venezuela. And we know you guys are watching from all around the world. Kenya, Nigeria, Malta. We had somebody watching us from Malta. Joel Adams, would I later have to correct it with the USCIS later on as well? Once your K1 visa goes to the embassy, USCIS couldn't care less about your K1 visa anymore, nor could the MVC. When your K1 visa leaves USCIS and goes to the MVC, USCIS is done. When your K1 visa goes from the MVC to the embassy, let's say in Manila, Philippines, National Visa Center is done with you. They couldn't care less about your visa anymore. They're looking at the next person's coming in. When it gets to the embassy is now in control of your beneficiary's visa. Okay? So you don't have to report anything to USCIS. Let's suppose you change jobs in the middle of your K1 visa application. You've been working for company A for 6 months, and now you work for company B. Do you have to contact USCIS and change and tell them, dear USCIS, I now work for company B? No, they don't care. When you fill out the I-134 Declaration of Financial Support, that's when you put in there your new job. Okay? This is my new job on the I-134. Let's suppose you're driving and you get a speeding ticket and you're the sponsor and you're in the middle of a K1 visa package. Do you have to write a letter to immigration and tell them at the service center, I got a speeding ticket, I'm sorry? No, they don't care if you got a speeding ticket, as long as it's not a felonious one, where you killed somebody in a car accident, then you'd have to report it. Let me see. Sorcha Anderson. My aunt sent in her adjustment of status. September 2023 case was approved. Interview was waived. Oh, good. Okay, there you go. Yeah, that's great. Hopefully that will happen for Karina. But when we send in her K1, when we submit her green card application on February 29th, okay, it's such a strong green card application that I don't think she's going to require another visa interview here in the United States, honestly. But if she does, she does. But I don't really think she will. Joel Adams, makes sense. They already got their money. They already got paid. They already did their part. And now they're done. Once your K1 visa leaves USCIS Service Center and goes to the MVC, USCIS is done with you. They don't care. They don't want to hear from you. When the MVC sends your package to the embassy, they're done with you. They don't want to hear from you. Now it's in the hands of the embassy. Joel Adams, can I quit my job once a visa is approved? I would say quit your job and find a new job when she has her K1 visa approved and the green card in her hand. Because when you apply for the green card, you're going to have to put on your I-864 affidavit of support that you are gainfully employed and you make this much money and you don't need a joint sponsor, right? Don't do anything that's going to affect your income financially until the green card is in your beautiful wife's hand. Then quit your job and say, okay, I'm going to go do something different. But then you got to be ready for the lifting the conditions off the 2-year green card once your temporary green card comes in. I don't recommend you quit your job until your beneficiary has a green card. Antonio, what does it mean when they say we sent your case to the Department of State for visa processing? That's what ours says after it was approved. Well, the MVC doesn't process K1 visas, okay? They assign case numbers. So what happens is that the MVC will send you a welcome letter with a case number, okay? And hopefully an invoice number, but they don't process visas unless it's for a spousal visa. Antonio, if you are in a spousal visa, if you're in a CR1, IR1 spousal visa, the MVC will then take control of the visa and schedule the visa interview for your wife or husband at the embassy, okay? But if you're in a K1 visa, the MVC don't do anything other than issue case numbers. They'll go through your K1 visa to make sure there's no stupid mistakes. If the MVC finds a stupid mistake that USCIS didn't catch, the MVC will then send your K1 visa back to USCIS and say, hey, you made a stupid mistake here. USCIS will then look at it and say, no, he didn't. There's nothing wrong here. They will send it back to the MVC, and the MVC will say, okay, yeah, my bad. And then they will send your case off to the embassy. Antonio, you're in a K1, okay? So if you're in a K1, the Department of State it processes the visa at the embassy, not at the MVC. At the embassy. The Department of State controls the embassies around the world. The Department of State in Washington, D.C., on the 7th floor of that big edificio, they control every embassy in the world, United States embassies around the world. So that's what they mean by that. The embassy is going to process the K1. Rambling Man, Kaya Dan, when do you think I should contact the embassy in Manila, MVC, in transit. Wait 2 more weeks, January 30th. So now it's February 19th. I would send them, go ahead and send them an email now, tomorrow, tonight. You might hear from, you might be lucky and your visa might be there. Joel Adams, is it best to FedEx the I-134 in the Philippines? DHL is what I recommend because the U.S. State Department uses DHL. If the U.S. State Department used DHL, that means that stuff is getting to the Philippines, right? So I would use DHL. No, you cannot scan an I-134, Antonio. It has to be the original form signed in black ink. I would use DHL. Antonio, I was confused about that. Now you're unconfused, right? Now you understand it, right? I explained it to you so you can understand. I took out all that government jibbly-gog and I translated it into something that's makes sense, right? Francois Livingston, Diego, would immigration accept proof of the COVID vaccines for the beneficiary online account? Vaccines info is documented online in his account. Yes, it's good. Francois, that's perfectly fine. Joel Adams, I don't send it to my girlfriend. The I-134 is filled out by the sponsor on the computer, and then you sign it in black ink, and you date it in black ink, and then you send that original document to your beneficiary in wherever it's in the Philippines, whether it's in India, whether it's in wherever it is, Nigeria. So yes, you do. You send the I-134 courier, FedEx, or I would DHL it, but you can use FedEx if you prefer, and get, as long as your beneficiary gets the original I-134. I've seen people getting into administrative holds because they've been turning in scanned copies of their I-134. And immigration at the embassy says that's not acceptable. I want to see the original one. Okay, it's a legal document. Okay, legal documents have to be signed with a wet ink pen. You know, a legal document cannot be scanned or PDF filed. It has to be original. Joel Adams, thanks for that super chat. Appreciate it, man. That's great. We're gonna be doing good. Tomorrow we're gonna go to Walmart anyway. I think we're gonna run there and get lots of Mountain Dew. Because I got Mountain Dew, I got a few left. And yeah, Joel, thanks for that. That's great. Now I got water today, but the next live stream will be Mountain Dew because I'm getting low, so I've been conserving it. So Joel, everybody, thanks for the super chats, guys. We appreciate you. Antonio, are you still confused? Francois, do you understand that will be acceptable? Okay, that's perfectly fine. When Karina got to the United States, I did a complete repeat of her medical exam with a civil surgeon in Pensacola. The civil surgeon in Pensacola sent me an email, and the doctor's assistant said, "Hey, Diego, I need for you to email me Karina's vaccination records." I said, "Okay." So I took a picture with my cell phone of her vaccination documents. I emailed them to the doctor in Pensacola. The doctor looked at them and said, "Okay, all the vaccinations are fully completed. Thank you very much." I said, "Well, thank you very much." It saved me a trip to Pensacola with her original documents. But when we went to her medical exam, which we repeated, okay, we did a repeat of her medical exam for immigration. I think our cat's been jumping on me. I repeated the medical exam. I got a brand new 693 filled out and signed by the doctor. I had her vaccinations recertified by the doctor. He put it in a sealed envelope that says to USCIS, Homeland Security, do not open. He sealed the back and he initialed the back where we're not supposed to open it. And then the doctor said, "This is your medical exam for your green card." I said, "Thank you very much." Some people, it cost me like $175. Some people are sending in their green card applications with only vaccination documents or with nothing. No vaccination documents, no medical exam. And they're getting RFEs from the green card, the immigration, and saying, where's the medical exam? Well, I had it in Bogota, Colombia. It was perfectly fine. That's how I got into the United States. Well, that's all well and good, but I want to see another medical exam. Some immigration officers want to see it, some don't. In order to avoid the RFE, don't go to Vegas and play the craps table, and hopefully you don't be the one that they get the RFE on. To me, it's better just to repeat the medical exam, put it in the green card application, get the 693 signed by a civil surgeon in the United States, get it done, and then that way you're guaranteed not to get the RFE on that. I think Tokyo, our cat, wants to come in. Yeah, Tokyo wants to come in. He wants to join the live stream. Okay, here he is, Tokyo the cat from Colombia. Hannah, we hope you're doing good, okay? Hi, Diego and Karina, buenas tardes. Which is faster, CR1 or K1 to be in the USA? How long time takes for each one from A to Z right now? I've been how many months for the whole process? Well, for a K1 visa, depending on the country, let's take Colombia, for example, okay? Because I know Colombia. From NOA1 to visa in the hand, in the passport, in the Colombian passport, right now, February 19th of 2024 is taking about 15 months, 14 and a half months, 15 months max. For a CR1 or IR1 spousal visa, it's going to take it's taking about 18 months. So the K1 is a lot quicker than the spousal visa, okay? Because with the spousal visa, you got to upload a bunch of stuff to the MVC. And then you got to hope the MVC don't mess it up, or you don't mess it up. I've been through that process before. I went through the spousal visa. I submitted my passport included with the beneficiary passport, and they said, no, it's got to be separated. So I separated them, I uploaded them separately, and it took another 3 months to fix that. I can't, I could have got married to Karina in Colombia. We would have loved to have been married in Colombia and had all our brothers and her nieces and her nephews and everybody. Would have brought her mom in from Venezuela and had a wedding in Colombia. It would have been fantastic. But then I would have gone through a living nightmare trying to get her spousal visa adjudicated at the MVC and then the embassy. It's a pain. K1 so much easier and so much quicker. That's my opinion. So Hannah, I hope that helped you. Okay, Hannah, we hope you're doing okay out there. France, which country, Hannah, are we talking about for you? Anyway, which country are you from? Francois Livingston, I understand. Thank you. Merci beaucoup. So Francois speaks French. Bonjour, comment ça va? Ça va bien, merci. That's about the French. That's about all the French I know. Okay. When I was in high school, I was taking French. And I think the French teacher kicked me out of the French class because I kept, joking around too much. I wouldn't pay attention. And I think they put me in another advanced math class. So anyway, but I learned French when I was like 12 or 13 years old. I was learning French, but I can't remember it. If I can speak French now, I cannot remember it. It's I remember maintenant, un, deux, trois, quatre. That's about it. That's it. So there you go. And Francois signed off in French and also in Arabic. Is that Arabic or Farsi? I think it's got to be Arabic. Hannah from Jordan. Okay. From beautiful Jordan. Our friends in Jordan. Okay. Yeah, it's quicker to do a K1, Hannah. It's easier. The paperwork's so much easier. But the benefits of a K1 is it's a little quicker. The benefit of a spousal visa, the CR1 visa, is that you get the green card right away when you get to the United States. Okay? Because you're married already, so you get a green card right away. Well, it gets mailed to your house, or they give it to you at the embassy. They probably mail it to your house. With a K1, you get through the process a lot quicker, but then you got to apply for the green card once you get to the United States, which adds probably 4 or 5 months on top of the process. But I'll be much happier with Karina here hanging out with me in Florida, waiting for her green card, rather than she being in Colombia, going through a nightmare CR1 spousal visa. For me, it's a nightmare on a CR1. So Hannah, how's everything? What, Jordan now. Let me see here, Jordan. So you're in the Middle East. So you speak English and you probably speak Arabic too, right? Hannah? You can speak 2 languages too, because your English is fantastic. So what do you think is so in my opinion, the K1 is much more easier to do and a tad faster than the spousal visa. But it's my opinion. It depends also on the embassy too. Okay. Some embassies like Senegal and Ghana, they're not running on all cylinders. They're not as fast as I'd like them to be. Hello, Tokyo. Look, Tokyo's right here. He just wants to stick his nose in the video. The camera's over here, boy. So that's Tokyo. He's Colombian, by the way. So if you want to say hi to Tokyo, you're gonna have to say hi in Spanish because he doesn't speak English. So say hola Tokyo, ¿cómo estás? Say, look, you want to get down? Okay. All right, he had his 2 minutes on the camera, and now he's happy. Now he's gonna sit by the door. No, he's laying down right here. He doesn't like being apart from us, guys. If I'm in here, he's sitting next to me. If I'm in making a video, he's sitting at my feet. Karina's in the kitchen making something to eat. He's sitting at her feet because he knows that she's got food. Okay, he's a boy cat. He's an hombre. So so wherever there's food, his nose is going to be there. Let me see. Francois can speak English, French, and Arabic. There you go. Now, French is a difficult. Arabic, I would never learn Arabic. That language is so difficult. I could never learn how to speak it, learn it. French is difficult too. But it took me about 2 years to learn Spanish. So I learned Spanish in about 2 years. So I know when Karina asked me to do something, I know what she's saying. Okay. So that's always good to learn your beneficiary's language. When you go to your visa interview, you don't necessarily need a translator if you don't speak English. Like Karina went to her visa interview in Bogota, Colombia. She didn't need a translator. The consular officer, who was from the United States, can speak Spanish and French. I spent all this money getting all these documents translated into English, and the immigration officer said, "Oh, you don't have to translate these documents anymore. We changed the policy." I'm like, "Well, great. Thanks for telling me." The same is true in the Dominican Republic. In the Dominican Republic, if you have all these French documents, all these Spanish documents, not French, if you have all these Spanish documents, you don't have to get them translated into English. You just got to make sure that you bring the original birth certificate, the passport, and the original I-134 is very important. And if you have a divorce decree, you got to get a certified copy of the divorce decree. You cannot, if you're the sponsor and you have a divorce decree, you got to go to the courthouse, get a certified copy. The clerk of the court will stamp it, sign it, and date it. You pay the clerk of the court for the divorce decree. That original certified copy must be in the hands of your beneficiary. You cannot scan it and send it as a PDF file. You have to send the original certified copy of your divorce decree and the I-134. Hannah, thanks, amigo. Diego, once the fiance will have his K1 interview at the embassy, will he have it at the immigrant unit section or the non-immigrant? He will have it at the immigrant unit section. A non-immigrant visa is a K1, okay? That's how it's adjudicated on the website of the embassies around the world. But it's treated as an immigrant visa because when you get to the United States, you're going to apply for a green card, which is an immigrant permanent residency card. So he will go to the immigrant visa unit section, Hannah. Now, I recommend, guys, sponsors, Mr. and Miss Sponsors, Mr. Sponsors, I strongly recommend that you accompany your beneficiary to the United States when they get their green cards when they get their K1 visas and their passports. When your beneficiary, when he or she has her K1 visa and his or her passport, fly to the country, okay, and accompany your beneficiary back to the United States and escort her or him through the U.S. citizenship line at the airport. The international flight lands. You get off the plane together. You can bring your beneficiary, Mr. American Citizen, Miss American Citizen, to the U.S. citizenship line, which is a quicker line. You get in that line and then go through the K1 visa interview at the airport with the Border Patrol. All right. That's a recommendation. It will make it go a lot quicker for your beneficiary at the Border Patrol checkpoint. Hannah, and what do you prefer to make the interview, with the English language or by the native mother language? Who, me? Well, Karina, she went and spoke. She can't speak English, so she can a little bit now, but she's doing good. She's getting there. But she went to her K1 visa interview in Bogota, Colombia, and it was all in Spanish. The guy can speak English. He was American, but he spoke fluent Spanish. So she said, I don't speak English. So he said, okay, we'll roll in Spanish. Right? So everything was in Spanish. And they asked her like 11 or 12 questions at her visa interview. They interrogated her, gave her 11, 12 questions. She answered them like this. She knew the answer to every question right away. Boom, no errors, no hemming and hawing. And she got her visa approved. And she did it in Spanish. So, and I was sick in bed. I wanted to go to the visa interview with Karina in Bogota, because you're allowed to in Bogota. But I was sick. I had mountain sickness, and I had some kind of flu. I had double jeopardy. I couldn't get. It's 4 o'clock in the morning, and I'm like, halfway to heaven, laying on the bed, dying, and Karina's getting up, ready to go for the visa interview. And I said, let me get up. I need to come to the visa interview with you. I'm going to accompany you to Bogota. I'm going to get on the Transmillennial and give everybody on the Transmillennial my flu. And Karina said, no. You stay right here. I said, but I got to be with you at the interview. No. Karina's like, I don't need you to be there. I can handle this. I'm a tough woman. She is too. She went to the visa interview on her own, dressed in her business suit, business attire, and knocked it out of the ballpark. Boom. When you go to your K1 visa interview, ladies and gentlemen, wear business attire. Don't wear jeans. Don't wear a t-shirt. Okay? Don't do that. Dress nice, like you're going for a job interview. Karina told me when she was in Bogota at the embassy, people were dressed like whatever, like slobs, They dressed like they were, just slobs, didn't comb their hair. And these were folks going for B2 tourist visas. There's a line of people going in. They're in line for a B2 tourist visa. And Karina, she's watching it. And the person was dressed kind of sloppily, had, these big tears. She had these big tears in her knees of her jeans, which I guess is the style, right? If you got to have your jeans all tore up, And then they got denied their tourist visa because of the way they were dressed. The immigration officer didn't like the way they were dressed. You gotta show respect to these immigration folks, guys. Dress business casual. Just my opinion. Okay, I don't know about the embassy in the Mumbai, the consulate in Mumbai, or the embassy in Manila. I don't care what embassy it is, what consulate it is. Dress business casual. Larry Piercy, if your prediction for my June 27 application is correct, we need to something Roadhouse before then. Well, come on, Larry, let's do it. I'll tell you what. I am mailing Karina's green card application off February 29th at 9:30 a.m. in the morning from the UPS store here in town. Now, whenever I send anything overseas, I use DHL. But whenever I'm sending stuff in from inside the United States, I use UPS because it's close. I could use the FedEx store too, but they're further away. And I'm a businessman, and if I can save 27.6 cents in gas, I will do it. And I'll go to the closest store, which is UPS. Larry Piercy, June 27th to April, May of 2024. Okay? Yeah. And Roadhouse is a good restaurant, Larry, and so is Ace's restaurant. I enjoyed eating breakfast there before in the past, years ago. But in 2020, I think was the last time I ate breakfast at that restaurant. Okay, guys, I've been talking for almost an hour. Come on now, throw some questions at me. Give me some K1 visa questions. What's giving you the most difficulty? What is the most difficult part of this process besides waiting? Have you filed your K1 visa yet? Have you filed for your K1 visa? Do you want me to go over your K1 visa package before you send it to the lockbox in Dallas? Do you want me to give you some pointers? Okay. Have you filed for your green card yet? Somebody asked me a question, does my status change from K1 to K3 when I get married? I said, yeah, it does. Once you get married in the United States, you're now basically considered a K3. But when you submit your green card application, you just put in there you're a K1. Okay? Don't try to confuse it. But technically, you are a K3. Can you get your social security number before you get married? Sure. Depends on the state. You can get a social security number with your I-94, your passport, and your K1. You got to have those 3 documents: the K1, the passport, the I-94. Got to have it. But I recommend you get married first, then go to the Social Security Administration with your I-94, passport, K1, and your marriage certificate. Get your social security number. It's good for 90 days. Get your K1, get your green card application in the mail before the 90 days is up, and then that will then update your social security number. Okay? So Larry, let me know when you want to go and eat at Texas Roadhouse. Joel Adams, does the valid date matter on the NOA2, the valid through day? No, that shows a 4-month window of time. Joel Adams, Joel. On your NOA2 letter, it's going to say this visa is valid from this month to this month. 4 months, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, right? 1, 2, 3, 3. That's French, I think. It's only good for, in Italian, I can't remember. It's only good for 4 months. But if you send an inquiry to the National Visa Center after 2 months and say, dear NVC, what's my case number? What's my invoice number? I got my NOA2 letter, but I haven't received my welcome letter yet. When you send that communication to immigration, print it. That's evidence that you have reconnected and maintained communication with immigration. That will then automatically extend your NOA2 letter. Okay? You guys got that? So don't worry about the NOA2 letter valid through day but you gotta extend it by contacting the NVC with an inquiry. You can send the NVC an inquiry. Hi guys, how are you going? How's everything? Hey, I went to Crystal's for breakfast today. I had a great time. What's the status of my K1 visa? Boom. Okay, communication. Caleb, Diego, I put the Tijuana consulate on the I-129F petition, but I didn't know it was a consulate in Juarez. Will it cause a problem? No, the NVC will send it to Ciudad Juarez. Hannah, after receiving the NOA2, how will we be notified regarding the welcome letter? By email. It will go to whoever's email address was put on the I-129F. Whoever immigration contacts through that email address is where it will go to. I put my email address on the I-129F. Okay, immigration was sending me the emails, the NVC welcome letter, the embassy sent me emails. This is your packet 3, packet 4 email, blah blah blah. I used my email address. Joel Adams, public inquiry is all you needed. Embassy email says you have 1 year to get visa. You have 1 year to get the visa, but that's if the embassy is creating a problem, it's not your fault. That will be extended. Okay. If the embassy is slow, if the embassy is the problem, then the visa will be extended. If it's the beneficiary who doesn't go to the visa interview, or if the sponsor gets lazy, okay, then 1 year is the termination limit. Scott Ozzy Thompson, MVC no longer sends welcome letters. Well, that's great news to know that. And what source are you citing? Please cite your sources. Which person told you that at the MVC? Which person at USCIS told you that? Which person in immigration told you that? That's the fact that I need to see so that people can see that. But I got a welcome letter for Karina from the MVC. So Scott Ozzy Thompson, you stated point blank, the MVC no longer sends welcome letters. A fact. Okay. Who told you that? Where is that written down in writing? And which immigration officer sent you that email and told you that? That's the facts that we need to see. Not me. My wife's already here. but for everybody else. Caleb, how and where do I schedule the biometrics appointment in Juarez? How is it done? Well, in Juarez, the consulate is scheduling the visa interviews, okay, in Mexico, Ciudad Juarez. They're the folks that are scheduling the visa interviews. So I got a feeling that they're the folks that are going to schedule the biometrics also. But what I would do is send an email to Ciudad and ask them. Scott Ozzy Thompson, NVC responded to my online inquiry in 2 days. Fantastic. What was your online inquiry? They responded to mine in 2 days too when I got my welcome letter. 2 days, 48 hours. What I would do, Caleb, is contact the embassy in Ciudad Juarez and ask them, okay? Because in Mexico, they're scheduling the K1 visa interviews right now, as of February 19th, 2024. But that could change, okay? And I'm still waiting for Scott Thompson to send me the persons who told him that it was a fact the NVC no longer send out welcome letters. Which person in immigration told you that? Okay, guys, I've been talking for an hour. I think Karina is getting hungry. I'm getting hungry. I want to make a pizza. I think I'm going to make a pizza tonight. That's what I'm going to do. Thanks for the super chats, guys. We appreciate those very much. And today's Monday, right? Lunes, hoy? So I'll be back on Wednesday, and we'll schedule at 6 p.m. again for a super chat. And Scott Ozzy Thompson said, I inquired reference where was my welcome letter. Okay, and what did the NVC say to you when you sent an inquiry looking for your welcome letter? What did the NVC tell you, Scott Thompson? What did they say in the reply back to you? I'll give you the last word so we all know what they said to you. We'll just hang out and wait and for your response. But I'm going to make a pizza, and I want to put some mushrooms on it, tomatoes, and pepperoni, and then we're going to watch a movie. And tomorrow, I'll make some more videos for you guys on immigration. I think I'll make a video tomorrow on how to put together the employment authorization document. How about that? I made a video on the I-864, the affidavit of support. I made a video on how to process the adjustment of status paperwork. And tomorrow I will make a video on the employment authorization document. Hang Ear says you make your biometrics in the link. Yeah, but he needs the link. In Mexico, the embassy, the consulate schedules the visa interviews. So he doesn't have a link to click on. So anyway, we'll see you guys tomorrow. We'll see you guys on Wednesday.